Hate to admit that
All right, that song. How many of you actually thought it was about a girl crush? It's not. It's an assumption that we probably all have made, which brings me to my hot topic today. I always ask successful people for their best piece of advice. And this one particular one, 3 simple words, have really stuck with me. And I'll get to it later. So we all make assumptions all the time. It's human nature. Assumptions about somebody or something somebody's doing. And it's so easy to think that we know what's going on in someone's head or their life. But we don't. We don't know. We make a guess, and we make that guess based on what we think or our past experiences. And it can lead to a lot of trouble. We have to be careful. So this is where it gets dangerous. We always think we're right about our assumptions because they're our own thoughts. We trust our own thoughts. But in reality, it's rarely what you think because you only know a small part of the whole story. So it's dangerous because we obviously all think we're right, and that's where you got to let the ego go. So here's an example. Somebody doesn't respond to your text. And you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting, and then you start playing the mind game. You're like, wait, are they mad? Like, is this something I said? You start, that doesn't look aggressive. No, they're probably just busy. But we play these own little stories in our head, and that's what causes issues. So, this happens all the time. And I even find people make assumptions about what I do for work, when in reality, these assumptions are really just a creation of their own thoughts. You really don't know. And we're all guilty of this. Me, myself, guilty. We make assumptions because we might not have the courage to ask questions. So women especially, in relationships, we do this. We always think people should know how we feel and what we're thinking, especially since, they love us, like they should know how we feel. But this happens all the time. You can't read people's minds. Thank goodness. So God forbid a boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, whoever shows up 15 minutes late, right? Your mind starts going crazy. You take it amongst yourself. You create this whole false drama and scenario in your head about what just happened. It's like a scene right out of Jerry Springer. It's like, Jerry. It's all you hear in your head. We do this to ourselves. And here's into something you probably would never assume. Jerry Springer, he's a former mayor of Cincinnati. Who knew? Nailed it. So bottom line, assumptions, they set you up for suffering. And it makes things in life much harder than they need to be. So I love the don't make assumption rule because it allows me to hear people and be more present and not take things where they don't need to be. So it allows you to be more in the moment than in your head. It's like being on the set of Oprah instead of Jerry Springer, which is like Super Soul Sunday, way more relaxing. So when you make assumptions, this is what can happen. You can make an error in judgment. You can hurt a relationship. You can make a real ass of yourself. That's what assume is, an ass of you and me, assume. You can ruin someone's day or yourself, and you can miss an opportunity that's right in front of you. So how do you work on this? You need to be conscious of your thoughts and the assumptions that you're making unless you know the whole story, which very few of us do. So find the courage to ask questions. That's one thing you can do. Have an open mind to listen to somebody and what they're doing. And here, ask yourself this question. How do I know this? And unless you have the facts, you're probably making an assumption, an incorrect one. So jumping to conclusions, it's not a form of exercise. It does not count. It doesn't. And you're always going to assume something, no matter what. So if you do, here is the big tip that I love and I always remind myself. These 3 words, assume positive intent. No matter what, always assume positive intent. So when that person's tailing you on the highway and you want to flick them the bird and call them an idiot and get all mad and ruin your day and their day and blah, 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 assume positive intent. A husband could be driving his wife to go have a baby. If you saw the way my husband drove me to the hospital, I'm sure a lot of people called 911 reporting road rage. You just don't know what people are going through. So always remember that, okay? And I'm going to end with my favorite thing. Speaking of assumptions, guilty. I saw this treat. The people from Eat Pastry sent me these amazing goodies, and I saw vegan, and I'm like, yikes. Like, don't want it. When I tried it, what? The vegans nailed it. Eat pastry cookie dough. You guys, it's raw. There's no eggs. It's raw. It's the most amazing thing I've ever tried. So thank you to my friends from Eat Pastry. Vegans, boom. Have a good one.